Okay, now I'm ready. Get your math workbooks and a pencil and follow along with me. We're gonna do the whole lesson 3 together. Uh-oh, I forgot my pen. Right here, got it. Okay, lesson 3 is all about measuring time intervals. Just gonna tear it out of the book. It says, our I can statement says, I can find elapsed time when I know the start time and the end time. Okay, so first thing we need to know to understand what's happening is we need to know that elapsed time means time that has passed, okay? So that may have been like a weird vocabulary word, elapsed time, I've never heard of that. Whew, now we know it's just time that has passed, okay? Time that goes on. When I know the start time and the end time. Okay, I'm super excited. Spark your learning. It says, Jan and her science club take a train from town at 12 o'clock p.m. and they arrive at a science fair at 12:30 p.m. They look at the projects. Then they take a train back for 30 minutes and arrive in town at 3:30 p.m. How long was Jan's club at the science fair? Okay, this is a story problem. What's the first thing I ask myself? Like we're in the classroom. What do I need to find? What do I need to find? I need to find how long was Jan's club at the science fair. So that's the question I'm putting in the box. And the second question I ask myself is, what information am I going to use? I am going to use that they took a train at 12 o'clock p.m., which is what? Noon or midnight? It's noon, okay. And arrive at a science fair at 12:30 p.m. I'm going to circle that information as well. They look at the projects, then they take a train back for 30 minutes and arrive in town at 3:30 p.m. How long was Jan's club at the science fair? Okay, so that's my question. I figured out all the pieces of information that I'm going to use. Now I'm going to show one way to find the amount of time that the club was at the fair. Now, what I would do is I would use a number line. We talked about that yesterday, and I think that's going to be the most helpful thing for you. So, here's my number line. Now, they take a train from town at 12 o'clock p.m., so I'm going to write that down. 12 o'clock p.m. And they arrive at the science fair at 12:30. Again, that is some information that I know. They look around at the projects, then they take a train back for 30 minutes and arrive in town at 3:30 p.m. So they arrive at 3:30. So I am just writing down everything that I know on a number line. You see how I kind of spaced it out a little bit? Because there's stuff that happened in between that I don't have numbers for. I gotta figure that out. So, first thing I need to figure out is what time did they leave the fair and go back to town? Well, the train takes 30 minutes. So, I'm going to mark 30 minutes because 3:30 is when they arrived, and this span is 30 minutes because that's how long it takes for them to take the train. So when did they leave the science fair? Well, what's 30 minutes away from 3 o'clock? Oh, I just gave away the answer. I always do this. It's like we're back in math class. What is 30 minutes away from 3:30? 3 o'clock. Oh my gosh, I always do that. Okay, so that's the time that they left. Now, I want to know how long they were at the science fair. So this whole time, they're at the science fair. They left at 12 o'clock noon, takes them half an hour to get there. They spent this whole time and they left at 3 o'clock. And I know they left at 3 o'clock because they got back at 3:30 and the train trip is 30 minutes long. You following? Oh boy. I'm throwing things now, my goodness. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to count back in hours. So from 3 o'clock, 1 hour is going to get me, I'm gonna make a bigger jump than that. I should be using a pencil. 1 hour is going to get me to 2 o'clock. And I'm gonna write at the top 1 hour. HR for short. Another hour is gonna get me to 1 o'clock. Now what is the time difference between 12:30 and 1 o'clock? 30 minutes. So this is gonna be a half jump. This one was 1 hour, this was 30 minutes. Okay, are we following along so far? Ignore this little guy. That was not a big enough jump. That was a half-hour jump, not a full hour jump. So now I'm going to add up my my times. 1 hour plus 1 hour is 2 hours, and then 30 minutes. So how long was the club at the science fair? They were at the club for 2 hours, or they were at the science fair for 2 hours and 30 minutes. Okay, makes sense? All right, next page. I'm on page 336, build understanding. Okay, number 1, boss chess game starts at 4:05 p.m. The game ends at 4:38 p.m. How long does the game last? How can you show the start time, the end time, and how many minutes pass? Show your work on the clocks. Okay, so the question I'm finding is how long does the game last? The information I'm going to need is it starts at 4:05, ends at 4:38. So I'm going to use what I know to draw on my clocks. The start time is 4:05. Now 4:05 is really close to just 4 o'clock, so my hour hand is going to be pointed pretty directly to 4 because that's the hour that we're in. The hour hand is the shorthand. Then the minute hand is going to be pointing at the 1. Why is it pointing at the 1? Because that means 5 minutes. If I start here, bam, that's 5. Remember the trick I said the other day where these numbers, you can multiply those numbers by 5 and that's the minute that they represent? So like 5 times 5 is 25, so this is the minute mark, 25. Or you could just count by 5s. Okay, so that's the start time. The end time is 4:38. So now we're halfway, more than halfway past 4 o'clock. So my hour hand is going to be halfway between 4 and 5. Again, my hour hand is the shorthand. Now the long hand, the minute hand, is going to be pointing, let's see, I know that 6, that is half an hour. So I'm going to do 30 minutes, 35, okay, I'm counting by 5s. Now I'm going to count by 1s. 35, 36, 37, 38. So I'm pointing to the third tick. So that basically there's 2 more until the 8. Okay, 4:38. Those are my times. All right. How can you show the start time? We did that, the end time, and how many minutes pass. Well, what do you guys think? If this is my start time, I'm gonna start counting until I get to 38. So instead of starting right here at the 12, I'm gonna start at the 1 because that's where my start time is. So I'm starting here and I'm gonna count by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and now I'm gonna count by ones. 35, 31, 32, 33. Okay, so I'm gonna pause right there because I made a mistake, but we can learn from it. I said 35, and it's because I saw the 7. And now in my teacher brain, I'm like, oh, 7:35. Like, I'm thinking that automatically. Okay, but what mistake did I make? I forgot that we started here. We didn't start at the normal time. And so that's not 35, it's 30. Whoa, it's confusing, but we got it. If I start counting by 5s at my start time and not the normal 00 minute mark, then I'll be golden. Okay, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32, 33. Okay, learned from my mistake. 33 minutes have passed. How do you know where to start counting? We just talked about this. I know, this is what I'm gonna write down. It's gonna take too long. I know to start counting at the 5 minutes mark, which is the 1, because that's where Bosch started playing the game, okay? What numbers can you count by? What did we count by? We counted, you could say, I can count by 5s and then 1s. Why did I have to start counting by 1s? Well, I counted by 5s until I couldn't anymore, and then I had to count by 1s to make it to that minute mark. How long does the chess game last? 33 minutes. The elapsed time is 33 minutes. Here's our connective vocabulary. It says elapsed time is the amount of time that passes from the start of an activity to the end of the activity. So like we talked about at the beginning of the lesson, elapsed time is the time that passes. Okay, perfect. So to double check our work, I want to be careful about saying this because this doesn't always work. So be logical, be careful, but I can check my work because I'm in the same hour. Notice my times. My start time is 4:05 and my end time is 4:38. Those are the same hours. So I can use this trick to check my work. If I were in a different hour, this trick would not work. So it's only if I am in the same hour this trick works. I can take my minutes and subtract them. 38 minus 5 is in fact 33 minutes. Now this wouldn't work if we ended, say the chess game ended at 5:17. Is that the same hour? No, that's not the same hour. So if I were to do 17 minus 5, that would be 12. Did the game take 12 minutes? What? No, it took an hour and 12 minutes. Okay, so just be careful, but that is a good way to check your work. All right, next page. Page 337. Number 2, step it out. Pete arrives at the book club meeting at 10:12 a.m. Morning or afternoon? Morning. He leaves at 10:54 a.m. How many minutes is Pete at the meeting? What do I need to find? I need to find how many minutes is Pete at the meeting. This board keeps scratching me. What information am I going to use? I'm going to say he arrives at 10:12 a.m. and he leaves at 10:54 a.m. Start at 10:12 and count on to 10:54. What amounts of time can you count by or count on by? Well, I'm looking at this and I would count by ones first. I would go to the 12 and I would count until the next multiple of 5. So remember, a multiple of 5 is a product of 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, those are all multiples of 5. So the next multiple would be 15. So I would go 12, 13, 14, 15, and then I would start counting by 5s, 20, 25. Why wouldn't I just keep counting by 1s? Because it takes a really long time. And so I'm going to count by 5s because it's a little bit faster. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and I'm going to stop because the end time is 54. So I would go 51, 52, 53, 54. Okay, so this is just an option. Show times and jumps on the number line. Okay, well, I kind of already did this. So 10:12 a.m., I'm going to jump all the way to 10:15. That's my multiple of 5. Okay? How big was that jump? How many minutes was that? That was 3 minutes. Okay? Now I'm going to do another trick to show you multiple ways of counting the time. Okay? Because I just realized that 10:15, one of my favorite times, because, let me fix this clock, goes all the way around. Because 15 is one of my anchors. It's a fourth of an hour. And so I'm going to go to the next anchor, which would be 10:30. I forgot the AM. 10:30. Again, a different way of counting. How long was this jump? A quarter of an hour is 15 minutes. Okay? Here I counted by 5s. Here I'm doing quarters of an hour. I did 3 minutes to get me to 10:15. Then I went from 10:15 to 10:30. That is a 15-minute jump. Now, the next anchor, the next quarter is 10:45. So here's my jump, my 15-minute jump. And I'm at 10:45 a.m. That was a 15-minute jump. Okay, can I do another 15-minute jump? The answer is no, because that would bring me to 11 o'clock. The book club didn't end at 11 o'clock, it ended at 10:54. So I'm gonna do a 5-minute jump, and that's gonna bring me to 10:50, that's 5 minutes. Then my ending time, I'm gonna extend the number line a little bit, is 10:54. So I went from 10:45 to 10:50. That's a 5-minute jump. See how I'm labeling my jumps? Because this is my elapsed time on top. I did not do this before. Okay, so don't get confused. Because this I was just counting by 5s. I didn't actually do it on the number line. On top, I'm writing my elapsed time. So from 10:45 to 10:50, that's 5 minutes. Then from 10:50 to 10:54, that is 4 minutes. Whew, okay. So now what am I gonna do with all these numbers up here? How can you find the elapsed time? How am I gonna do that? I'm gonna add them up. Add them up. Now you guys would write it all down. So 15 plus 15, that's 30 minutes, okay? 30 plus 5 is 35. 35 plus 4 is 39. 39 plus 3 is 42 minutes. So basically I would do 15 plus 15 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3. See that? And what did I get? 42 minutes. Okay, how are we feeling? Feeling pretty good about elapsed time? All right, let's do the check understanding. It says find the elapsed time. Math starts at 1:15 p.m. and ends at 1:57 p.m. Okay, so here's my starting point, 1:15. That's so helpful that it did that for you. Okay, it's going to end at 1:57. So I'm going to draw another minute hand at 57. So I know 9 is 45, 50, 55, 56, 57. Trying to be exact as possible when it comes to my minute hand. Okay, so now I'm just going to count from my starting point to my ending point. 5, okay, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 41, 42. I had to count by ones there for the last 2 minutes. 42 minutes. Number 2, art starts at 9:20 a.m. and ends at 9:58 a.m. Okay, so from 9:20 to 9:58, what should my jumps be? Now I'm thinking about 9:20. I'm not going to do 15-minute jumps anymore because 20 is not a quarter of an hour. Like when I think of 15 and 30 and 45, those are very friendly numbers for time. So since 9:20 doesn't, I'm not going to add 15 minutes to 9:20. I would do something like 10 minutes. So here's my jump from 9:20. I'm going to do a 10-minute jump, and that's going to get me to what? Well, what's 20? I'll show it on this one. 9:20. So I'm just taking my starting point, 9:20, and I'm adding 10 minutes. 5, 10. Well, 20 plus 10 is 30. Easy enough. And I'm just going to keep doing it by 10-minute intervals until I get close to 9:58. So that brought me to 9:30 a.m. Next 10-minute jump is going to bring me to 9:40. Next 10-minute jump is going to bring me to 9:50. Okay, I'm pretty close. I'm going to do a 5-minute jump because that'll take me to 9:55. So that's a 5-minute jump. Now, how many minutes are in between 9:58 and 9:55? 55, 56, 57, 58. 3 minutes. So I'll do a 3-minute jump. Or could I do 3 1-minute jumps and go 9:55, 9:56, 9:57, 9:58? Sure, I could do that for sure. Could I have gone 9:50 and done an 8-minute jump between 9:50 and 9:58? Yeah, that probably would have been easier. Okay, so now I got all my jumps. These are all my elapsed times. I'm going to add them all up. 10 plus 10 is 20. 20 plus 10 is 30. 30 plus 5 is 35. And 35 plus 3 is 38. So the elapsed time is 38 minutes. Remember your units. I think we're talking about minutes. Okay, feeling groovy? Last page, page 338. That's funny because the last answer was 38 minutes. And we're on page 338. Okay, on your own. Attend to precision. Gotta be precise. Lisa's Science Club meeting starts at 5:05 p.m. So in the evening, in the afternoon. And ends at 5:52 p.m. Show how to find the elapsed time. Okay, so you guys can choose what you want to do. Do you want to draw a clock and count on the clock, or do you want to draw a number line and do jumps, interval jumps? It's all about what you prefer. let's do the number line for this one. So we're starting at 5:05 p.m. and we know we have to get to 5:52. Okay, so 5:05, I would do an interval jump like, I guess we could do 10 minutes. I'm gonna do 5-minute jumps. It might take me a while, but I'm gonna do 5-minute jumps. Just because counting by fives is good. So that's 1 5-minute. That's gonna bring me to 5:10. Another 5-minute. Remember, I have to label my jumps. Will take me to 5:15. Another 5 minutes. It's gonna take me to 5:20. Now I have to kind of write on the side to fit it all in. That's okay. This is 5 minutes. That's gonna bring me to 5:25. Another 5 minutes is 5:30. Another 5 minutes is 5:35. Okay, see how I'm labeling the times on the bottom, but then labeling the minute intervals on top? Okay, we gotta keep track of both. Keep this line going. The next 5-minute jump will bring me to 5:40. And then the next will bring me to 5:45. And the last 5-minute jump will bring me to 5:50. But I want to stop at 5:52, so I have to do a little 2-minute jump. Uh-oh, forgot to label. There's my little 2-minute jump. And that brings me to 5:52. We did it. Maybe we should have done the clock for this one. That's good, it's okay. We learn by doing, right? By going through like weird problems like this, and then we're like, gosh, that was silly, I should have used the clock. But the more we experience that, the more we'll be able to recognize when it would be good to use the number line and when to use a clock. So this is good. Okay, so now I'm gonna count my intervals on top. 5 plus 5 is 10, 10 plus 5 is 15, 15 plus 5 is 20, 20 plus 5 is 25, 25 plus 5 is 30, 30 plus 5 is 35, 35 plus 5 is 40, 45 plus 5 is, 40 plus 5 is 45, and 45 plus 2 is 47. Whew, caught my mistake. 47 minutes. Why does that feel wrong? It's not. 47 minutes. Okay. Number 4, start at 9:20 a.m. end at 9:45 a.m. So here it has drawn the starting point for us. Now I'm going to draw the ending point as well on the same clock. Okay, so 9:45. Oh, 45, that's an anchor time, one of my favorites. I stop right there. I'm gonna count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. The elapsed time is 25 minutes. Number 5, start at 2:15 p.m. end at 2:58 p.m. Okay, wants to do a number line, but thank goodness it's got 15, one of my favorites, because it's an anchor. It's a fourth of an hour. So I'm gonna do a 15-minute jump, and that's gonna bring me to another anchor, 2:30. Then I'm gonna do another, p.m., another 15-minute jump, and that'll bring me to 2:45. Then from 2:45 to 2:58, I'm gonna do a 10-minute jump. And 10, so 2:45 plus 10 minutes is 2:55. Then I need to get from 2:55 to 2:58. So I'm gonna do, oops, sorry, I didn't label it. 10, 15, 15, 10. Then I'm gonna do 3, because I know 5 is 3 away from 8, 3 minutes. And that gets me at my end time of 2:58. Now I add up all this elapsed time. 15 plus 15 is 30, 30 plus 10 is 40, 40 plus 3 is 43. 43 minutes. Yay! Okay, number 6. Ryan and Tia attend a math team practice. Ryan arrives at 3:05 p.m. and leaves at 3:40 p.m. Tia arrives at 3:15 and leaves at 3:45 p.m. Who practices for a longer amount of time? Explain. Okay, so I need to find, this is a story problem. The first question I ask myself is, what do I need to find? I need to find who practices for a longer amount of time, Ryan or Tia. Well, I need to know that Ryan starts at 3:05, ends at 3:40. Tia starts at 3:15 and ends at 3:45. So now I need to find the difference between 3:05. I'm going to use this as a number line actually. 3:05 to 3:40. I'm going to count by 5s again. Here we go. 5 minutes, that's 3:10. 5, label it 5. 3:10, 5 minutes is 3:15. 3:15, 5 minutes is 3:20. 3:20, 5 minutes is 3:25. 3:25 for 5 minutes is 3:30. 3:30, 5 minutes gets me to 3:35. And another 5 minutes brings me to 3:40, my ending time. Now I'm going to add up all those times. 5 plus 5 is 10, 10 plus 5 is 15, 15 plus 5 is 20, 20 plus 5 is 25, 25 plus 5 is 30, 30 plus 5 is 35. So Ryan practices for 35 minutes. Okay, so now let's see Tia. Now Tia's times are much friendlier because this I can do in my head. And I bet you guys can too. Because she starts at 3:15. Every time you see 3:15 or any hour and 15, I want you to breathe a sigh of relief. Because 15 is just so friendly when it comes to time. 3:15, that's a quarter of an hour. 3:15 to 3:45, ooh, that's half a clock. Did you see that? 3:15 to 3:45, that's something that I want to be automatic. You know that the difference between 15 and 45 is half an hour of time, okay? Make sense? So I'm not even gonna do a number line. I could. It would just be 2 15-minute jumps. I will. 3:15, 15-minute jump is going to bring me to 3:30. Another 15-minute jump will bring me to 3:45. And 15 plus 15 is 30 minutes. So Tia practiced for 30 minutes. Okay, so now it says who practices for a longer amount of time. Well, which is longer, 35 or 30? 35 minutes is longer. So you would say Ryan practiced for longer because I found out using a number line that Ryan practiced for an elapsed time of 35 minutes and Tia practiced for an elapsed time of 30 minutes. 35 is greater than 30, so Ryan practiced for a more amount of time. That doesn't seem grammatically correct. All right, for more time. Okay, so I'm feeling good. I hope you guys are also feeling good about this math lesson. We're all done. I know I'm a little goofy today, but I just feel good. We had a meeting yesterday with the other faculty and teachers, and it was good to see everyone. And I mean, things are crazy, but I'm feeling good, and I'm really proud of you guys. And everything is gonna be great. And I'm here for you if you need me. and I know you're trying your best. I know you're doing your best work. So keep it up. You guys are amazing. I miss you so much. I think about you every single day, all day long. I just hope that I hope you know that I'm thinking about you and sending you lots of love, and I'm so proud of you. Keep it up. Love your guts. We'll see you later.